do you know which pedal is which?
Acceleration brake.
Brilliant. So you can't reach those. So reach down the front of the chair, pull the lever up, hold onto the steering wheel with your right hand. You can shuffle yourself forward. Now with your right foot, can you operate both of those pedals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to move a bit nearer? Can you feel that?
Yeah, that would be better.
That's it. Try and press the pedal. Yeah. Press the brake pedal as well. Do you feel like you're stretching at all?
No.
No? Right, steering wheel. So let's move this a little bit. Reach underneath here, there's a little catch in the middle. If you push that down, that's it. Now push the steering wheel forward. Tell you what, press the brake pedal for me. That's it. And then let's get it started. So now you can get that straight. In the gap here, make sure you can see the top and the bottom of that display. Have you got a nice bend in your arm? Do you feel comfortable with the distance from the wheel? You can push it and pull it, and it moves up and down.
A bit forward.
Yeah. So just with the wheel. Right. So if we release the catch, so let's release that catch all the way down. That's it. Good. So what do you want to do? Pull it towards you.
No.
Right. Or you can push it away. Yeah. Just quite firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. If you're happy with where it is, reach underneath and lock it back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy? Right. Do you want to put that on? I'm going to come around and jump in. I'm going to get you to do your mirrors for me. So this button here selects the right mirror, and then these arrow buttons will change the mirror. What you want to try and set it is so you can just about see the door handles on the side of the car, just in the very left edge of the mirror. Yeah? Right, if you want to do that for me, we'll come and jump in. Go behind. Okay, how are you getting on? Okay, do you want to do the left side? So if you press the top left button. All good? Yep, now the middle mirror, just grab it with your fingers there, twist that until the top of the mirror is lined up with the top of the back window. And in the bottom right corner, you maybe want to see the side of your ear. Yeah, hold it with both hands, it's sometimes a bit easier. All good? Yep. Now, do you want to wipe your glasses, or are you okay? There's a little bit of rain on there. Feel free to use this if you want.
Thanks.
I have exactly the same problem. I've got a clock here.
I'm used to doing it on my t-shirt.
Okay. Right, okay, so, do you know much about this car? Do you know how to drive it, put it into... Do you know how the gears work and things like that?
I know that most of it's automatic. This is the car that Daddy has, I think.
I don't know, probably.
It is.
Yeah? Right. Yeah. So your left foot's going to do nothing. So you can just leave your left foot over to the side. Your right foot is going to control the brake and going to control the gas. Yeah? You can take your foot off the pedals, we're not going to go anywhere. So before we go, what I want you to do is we're going to need to put the window wipers on. So if we twist that a couple of twists, there we go, that'll do. And we're also going to practice the steering. So while we're sat here, can you steer the wheel all the way to the left for me? Keep turning it until it doesn't turn anymore. Good, so that's almost 1.5 turns, yeah? So now let's bring the wheel back round to straight. One more turn. Perfect. If it gets too hot or cold in the car, let me know. I want you to press the foot brake now with your right foot. Now the lever behind your right hand, can you see the one with all the letters on it?
Yeah.
Do you know what those letters stand for?
One's reverse.
Yes.
One's park.
Yes.
I'm not sure about N and D.
The N is neutral and the D is drive. So we need to put it into drive because that's going to allow us to go forwards. So we push that down. Good. Now have a look to your left and your right, and your right and your left. Is there any cars coming? No? All good. So very carefully lift off the brake. We'll start to move and we'll steer to the left as well. That's it. It's not going to go very fast. It's only going to go about as fast as you would walk. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and now we can straighten ourselves up. We'll come to the left a little bit just to avoid that big puddle, because that's a big hole.
Track section 1 full clear.
That's good. And then we'll aim ourselves towards where the red car is. See that red car?
Yeah.
Now if you move your right foot near the gas pedal like you've done, let's straighten the wheel up. Good. And again we'll come into the middle, so if we straighten the wheel now, see how the car is pointing straight ahead? It's almost perfect. And if you just squeeze the gas pedal about the depth of a 10p coin, try and press it that deep.
Deeper than this?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. As fast as you want to go, because the deeper you press it, the faster the car will go. So if we keep our eyes right up on the trees in the distance, and then if you want to press it a little bit firmer, feel free. Do you want to do that for me? How fast are we going?
We are going 9 miles per hour.
Okay, so let's see if we can get it to 12. Can we get it to 12? Yeah, good. Yeah, nicely done. Does that feel okay? We can go faster as well. You can go up to 30 if you like. Yeah. Now, if you look up, we'll try and keep ourselves near the cones, but in between the cones and the grass.
Yeah.
That's it. And gradually feed in that throttle. Let's see if we can get ourselves near to 20, as close to the 20 as we feel comfortable going. That's good.
Run over the birds.
They'll move out of the way, yeah? Because what they're quite clever is they feel the air pressure changing, and as soon as they feel that air pressure change, then they'll move out of the way. Now, can you see the kind of grey line that's coming out in the middle? That's actually a little bit of a hump that we've got to carefully drive over. So let's aim for the middle of the road rather than the left side. That's it. Speed is good, just a good grip on the steering wheel. And we'll ease off the gas as we come over now. So if we lift off the gas, that will let the speed come down. We're coming round this left-hand bend. If you need to, let's use a tiny little bit of brake just to bring it down closer to 5. And we're going to copy what the red car's just done. We're going to drive through the gap and then do a big loop all the way round. So we don't need to press any pedals here. Get yourself level with the sign, that's it. Work that wheel now all the way round. If you feel you need a little bit of gas, then just press a gentle amount just to help you push through. When do we need to unwind the wheel? Perfect. Yep, that's it, keep unwinding. And then we'll aim a little bit for the left side, just so that we can work our way past this black car as well. That's it. And then turn yourself into the middle of the road. Good, how are you feeling?
Good.
Easy, difficult? What do you think?
Fairly easy. I was comforted by the fact that there's a brake over there as well.
I've not used it. I'm not going to
I know
either.
that you've not used it yet.
Right, okay, let's move ourselves a little bit more to the middle, so we're away from the grass, and then just gradually build up that pace. Now, do you know what a slalom is?
Going left.
Left and right, yeah. Now, do you remember when we drove up this way, there was a whole line of cones in the middle?
Yeah.
What do you think we're going to be doing? Right, so a little bit of gas, let's drive ourselves up to them, we'll slow down as we get near. Now, if we look in our mirrors, do we have anyone behind us?
No, apart from that black car.
Okay, and is that black? Yeah, are they coming? They might come this way. We'll keep an eye out for them in case they do. Now we're going to drive past this first cone that's just sort of solitary on its own in the middle. And you can see the next line of cones.
Yeah.
Okay, now the gap between these cones is all a little bit different. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is really keep it slow and try and see if we can weave our way through those cones. That's it. Now, if at any point you want to go slower than 3 or 4 or 5, we just need to use the brake to do that. If we don't press any pedals at all, then we're probably going to float about 5. Yeah. Right. So let's come past this first one.
Let's hope I'm better at this than I am in Forza.
Right. So what we want to try and do now is, as we get level, let's go through the gap. So let's steer nice and quick to the right. Put as much steering as you think you need just to get the front of the car past this one. Twice as quick now and twice as much steering. That's good. Smaller gap for this one. A bit quicker with the wheel. Okay, and this one's a little bit easier, so we can bring ourselves through this big gap. And then see if you can get us through that last one. Good. And then as we come through, we're going to build up our pace a little bit now as we drive away. How did you find that?
Easier than I expected.
Yeah, you did that well. You did that well. Now we're going to drive around the front of the building now. It's a little bit bumpy, as we felt earlier. So what sort of speed do you think we should be aiming at around the big bumps?
Not sure.
Anywhere between 10 and 15. So we'll have 15 as like an unofficial maximum. But if it feels bumpy, we'll just use the brake maybe and slow down a little bit. So try and stay in the middle as long as there's no oncoming car. So if you move a bit to the right for me, so I'm just going to move you across just a tiny bit. Ease off the gas, that's it, just let it roll through, kind of just helping it on its way. So if you look all the way through the middle, so we're staying like over a metre or so from each side, then that tends to be where the flatter bit of the road is. So we're going to climb up onto that nice bit of paving, so is there a good way of getting onto that? Yeah, okay with this? Good grip on the wheel in case it's a bit bumpy on the way up. Good. Now is there anyone coming the other way? From in front of us?
No.
No? So let's aim to be over towards the left side without going on the grass. And when we get to the end of this bit of road, we're going to stop. So if we cover that foot brake, try and stay off the grass if you're able. That's it. And aim to get the car into the corner near the white lines and gently stop when we get there. So use the brakes to do that. That's it, braking to a stop. Good, that's it. And hold the brake down. Now, what's the rule at a roundabout? Do you know?
One way.
Yeah, so we all go round the same way. Do you have a cycle on the road? Do you ever cycle through roundabouts? No. So with a roundabout, we give way to the cars and we stop for the cars that are coming from the right-hand side. So if you lean forward and look to your right, is there anyone coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll stay here. Now after they've gone by, is there anyone else coming? No, so we can ease off the brake and then we're going to drive off into this road here. And always good as well, just do a secondary check as you drive away and even maybe use the right mirror just in case someone's coming up pretty quick. Yeah? Right, we're going to line ourselves up to follow that grey car and if we're able we're going to stay to the left side of the road. That's it, get yourself lined up. We'd rather be near the line in the middle, so move to the right a little bit, just going to move you across, that's it. Because if we drive on the white line, nothing really is going to happen. Whereas if we drive over towards the curb, then that could cause like damage to the tyre. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no oncoming traffic after this car, so even drive on the line a little bit. And we're going to drive all the way up to the very end. That's good. So ease off the gas a little bit. I'm just going to move you across a tiny bit.
Yeah.
That's it. Just relax the grip on the steering wheel. Nice soft arms. Allow your shoulders to stay relaxed as well. Let's go to the right a tiny bit. Good. And look all the way up into the distance and only feed in the throttle when you actually want the car to go quicker. Yeah? That's good. So line up the line. Ease off the gas a tiny bit. That's good. And we're going to turn ourselves around when we get to the very end of this straight. Good. That's a nice little adjustment on the steering wheel. Okay, now we're going to let the speed come down now. We want to try and let it get down to about 5 miles an hour or so, and we're going to do a big loop. You can actually see the road markings. We'll show you a way all the way around. That's good. A little bit of right turn just to keep us away from the white line. Close to it. That's good. That's perfect. Now, as you think the front wheels are about to hit the line that's furthest away from us, that's when I want you then to start turning that wheel all the way around to the right now. That's it, super quick. And then look out of your window where you want the car to go. Okay, we'll bring ourselves to a gentle stop just here. So use the brakes for that. That's it, bring it to a stop. And we're just going to let these guys go. Right, after they've gone we're going to follow them. Okay, that's it. Good, so let's follow those guys. Which way do we need to steer? So I'm going to slow you there just a tiny bit of brake. Now I'm going to get you to do a little bit of reversing. So if you put your foot on the foot brake for me. Yeah, which foot?
Right.
Yeah, I'll take my foot away. You're in control. Push that up. That's it. And then ease off the brake a tiny bit, and that lets you roll back. Keep your foot near the brake. Which foot?
Right.
Yeah. And then just roll back, and then reapply the brake now. Just gently.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. Right foot though, because your right foot will have more control and be softer. Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's put it back into drive. good. Now have a look where you want to go. Now our wheels are pointing that way at the moment, so we'll ease off the brake gently, steering to the left. Just try and get the front of the car to point where you want it to go. A bit more turn, that's it, so we can force that turn. That's it. And then straightening up the wheel, and then squeezing the gas. We're going to turn right into this space over here. So try and line yourself up with the lines in the middle. That's it. Good. A little bit of gas just to help us on our way. Okay, I'm going to put a signal on for the car behind, and we'll stop with the right foot on the brake. Just stop gently, just here. We'll let this car do their turn first. And as they turn in, we're going to follow the black car. Okay, so ease off the brake now. That's it, and then steer in to follow that car. Now they're going to go off to the left, same as us. That's
We're going to
good.
have to change direction.
Yeah, so if you look to your right, we're going to follow the red car, because they're going to go before us. And try and drive to the end of the dotted line here. A bit more turn, the wheel. Force the turn. Remember it turns 1.5 times. And then we can straighten that up. Good steering there, like that. Then let's feed in that gas pedal just very, very gently. Don't go too fast too soon. And if you look out of your window, you can see the orange cone over in the corner. Let's steer towards that cone now. That's it. Good. So just put a little bit on us at a time and watch to see if the front of the car is lining up where you want it to go. Much like when we went through the slalom, yeah? It's the same idea. Yeah? Right, we can feed in a tiny bit of gas on the straight bit. Good, now if you look over to your right, can you see there's a blue cone just on the corner? Yeah, we're going to be turning left there. What's that car doing? Is that car going to be meeting us, or are they going all the way round the roundabout? They've gone all the way round, haven't they? So the road is nice and clear. So as we come round this bend, let's plan the next one. Good. Nice steering, like that, single input. So as we drive ourselves through, just give yourself a little bit of a gap from the cone. Looking out of my window, so you can see where you want to go. That's going to help you decide how much steering to put on. Remember, we need to straighten it out as well. Perfect. And again, looking out of my window, the blue cone's over there. Because if we only look at what's in front, our reaction will always be a little bit late. Yeah? Whereas if we look where we actually want to end up, then we'll have a little bit more planning. Yeah? Good. So you can feed in a little bit of gas on the straight bit. Again, look over to the bend where we want to come around and go to. We don't have to be near the cone. There's plenty of space. That's it. And then apply enough steering to get the car pointing where you want it to go. And then look where you want it to follow all the way around. That's good. That's it. Then we can feed in a little bit of gas as well. Okay, so what I'd like you to do as we come past this sort of opening is I want you to pull over on the left and bring yourself to a stop near the grass, yeah, but not on it. So just line yourself up nice and straight now, steering to the right. That's it, good. A very, very light touch with the brake, that's perfect. Can you see the difference between your left and your right foot?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right, and if we press the little button on the end of the gear lever, we can put it into park. Cool. Now, what are you finding easy at the moment? What are you finding difficult?
I'm finding turning difficult.
Okay.
Keep
And
going either too much or not enough.
okay. So the best thing to do with that is to strip the speed away when you get to a turn or a bend, and then apply your steering slowly, but look where you want to go. Because if you go at a slower speed, it's going to give you more time, and if you don't get it right, then there's enough time for you to change it and make a change. If you go into something too quick, then there's not enough time to fix it if it's not quite right. Okay. So what we're going to have a look at now is we're going to do a 3-point turn. You know what a 3-point turn is? Okay. It's basically a manoeuvre that we use to turn the car around. So we can introduce a little bit of reversing. Okay. So if you press the foot brake for me, that's good. Put it into drive. Now our first movement now is we're going to move as slowly as we can, but we're going to try and drive over towards the grass that's over on the right hand side. So we're actually not going to, when we take our foot off the brake, we're going to immediately reapply a little bit of brake to keep it slow. and you need to steer now as quick as you can. Yeah? So if we have a look in our mirrors and look around, is there anyone driving past us?
No.
Anyone in your blind spot? It's over your right shoulder, if you look over your shoulder. No? All clear? Yeah? So take your foot off the brake. That's it. Let it roll. Steer as quick as you can now to the right. And now reapply a little bit of brake to slow it down. And roll yourself now, just slowly. Don't use the gas, just use the brake. And stop when you get to the grass. Do you think you're near the grass? Just a tiny little bit at a time. Yeah, that's pretty good. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Let's put it into reverse. Now have a look to your left and your right. Anyone coming?
No.
No, and as we move now, even quicker now with the wheel, steering to the left, with the car going as slow as you can. So ease off the brake a tiny bit, yeah. So we'll steer now to the left as quick as you can. Reapply the brake a tiny bit. Keep going with the wheel. And when the camera, we'll stop here. Stop there. Yeah. Right, because then that's where, if we put it back into drive, keep your foot on the brake. That's why we still want that little bit of control on the brake, so it stops us from going off too quick. So let's have a look to the left and the right. Is it all clear?
Yeah.
So ease off the brake. Steer quickly to the right now. Use the brake again a little bit more if you need it. That's perfect. Then ease off when you feel happy. More steering if you've got it. Good. And then straighten yourself up. Good. How do you find that? That's quite a useful manoeuvre to know, yeah. Okay. Now let's drive ourselves up. We're going to go up and around the roundabout. So that's it. Apply the gas as much as you feel you need or want at the moment. And we'll think about the steering. So when you come up to the bend, I want you to put your left hand just a tiny bit higher on the wheel, so that when you steer to the left, you can do a nice slow gradual turn, and you've always got the ability to add more or take a bit off. Yeah? Good. That's it. So we can feed that gas in a little bit more. Good. Now we've got to the bend, so now we can then apply that left turn. Keep applying until the car's pointing where you want it to go. And now we can ease off, because this is where we want the time. Yeah? Now if you move your right hand now higher on the wheel, that's going to help you now as you start steering to the right. So let's go all the way round. And if you look out of your window where you want the car to go, yeah, focus on the bend round to your out of your window. As the front of the car starts to line up with what you're looking at, you can start to unwind the wheel. Perfect. Okay, and then look out of your window again now, follow the bend, and apply enough steering now, just to get the front of the car to go where you're thinking it might go. If it's too much, you can take a bit off. If it's not enough, you can add a little bit more. Good. And we're going to drive all the way down to the end. So can you see the car with its hazard warning lights flashing and the brake lights have just come on? So how are you feeling now with your steering? Does that feel a bit better?
Yeah.
Good. And let's feed that gas in as well a little bit further as we go. Good road position here. Good distance on the left and the right. That's it. See if we can push on to 15. Can we get to 15? Good. Excellent. Okay, now as we get closer, it starts to get a little bit bumpy again when we go past those blue cones that are just in front of us. So that's where we're going to go a little bit slower. So we can still keep it around 10 to 15, we just can't really go over 15. So if we drop below 10, we can build that back up again a tiny bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to park next to that car that's facing towards the grass. The 4x4 is probably going to do a little manoeuvre, so we can use the brakes here if we need to. That's it. Right, so we'll drive past him. We're going to carry on going just towards there. He'll be fine when he reverses that way. We need to move just a tiny bit to the right to stay away from these puddles. good. Okay, and then we're going to come round this puddle. So we're driving almost to the left. And can you see car 60? We're going to park next to car number 60. No, you're good. This is fine. That's it. Perfect line. A little bit more turn now, just to get the angle. And then straighten up the wheel. That's it. Keep rolling. And then a little bit of light braking. That's it. Stop it. Perfect. Right, nice braking. Put it into park for me and relax your feet. Excellent. Let's fill in your logbook. So, how did you find the drive? What do you feel what was the best bit? What was the easiest bit? What was the hardest bit? What were your thoughts?
Easiest bit was the straights.
Okay.
The hardest bit was definitely the quick turn.
Okay. So, if you think about some of the things we said, do we need to do any quick turns? Well, how can we avoid a quick turn?
By bringing the speed down.
Yeah. So when you're driving, if you want to avoid a quick turn, then we can adjust that pace, and it's just about planning, really. The other way we can avoid a quick turn is if we think about how much we're going to turn, or how we can do the turn before we get there, so we can look out the windows and plan our line. Okay. Right. So let's fill in some notes. Right, so let's pick two skills. Let's pick steering as a skill, and let's pick braking as a skill. Now, on our scale, 10 is going to be what we would think perfect would be, so what we aim for, yeah? 1 is going to be, think about what your first go might have been like, yeah? So I'm going to put a score in that's going to show how much we've progressed today and room to develop in the future, and then I want you to assess yourself as well, okay? So I'll put my scores in first. Right, so what are you going for with steering?
With steering, I think it's maybe like a 4.
4, okay, yeah. And what are you going for with braking?
Braking, maybe a 6.
Okay, right. So I went steering as a 5 and braking as a 6, yeah? But your scores are more important than mine, yeah? I like to put mine in because I don't know, I like to think I do something, but your scores are more important because your scores are based on how you think, how you feel, and what you know. Yeah. So what I want you to do is I want you to go away from today, and I want you to try and think about how you would make your steering a 5 and how you'd make your braking a 7. And where it says next steps down the bottom, whatever you come up with, and you can ask people for advice, but what you think I think is more important. What you come up with, I want you to write in that box down the bottom. So next time you come, you can have a look at that and go, there's something for me to try. If you try it and it doesn't work, then think of something else. Yeah? Any questions? No? Anything you want to say to the camera before we turn it off?
No.
No? Okay. Right.